I forgot to tweet just before I went to bed. I wanted to tweet that we had a bus trip update for everybody.
Yes.
There's a buzz out there. Opie and Anthony hitting the road for a week. Gonna stop in 4 places?
Yeah.
I think it's Branson, Missouri. You got the Nashville. You got the Memphis,
and a big show,
and then Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tweet to get everyone listening to the radio today for the big Opie and Anthony bus trip update. So after the show, you had Steve Blatter and the Radio Wizard. They walked in all confident after our Shane Smith interview from Vice, a guy that's been traveling the world.
Everywhere he's been.
I don't even know how you make travel plans to go to half these places he goes to.
You have to have somebody behind the scenes who cares about it and who just does it.
Yeah, but how do you book flights to these places? It's crazy.
They sneak in, man. He knows how to do it. It's weird.
And how do you book hotels in the middle of West Africa? Wherever the hell.
Or how do you get somebody? You understand? Somebody said we got to get the Chicago Bulls into North Korea,
right?
And they got Dennis Rodman
to
go to North. They got someone to hang out with Kim Jong-un.
Right. Why wouldn't any other Bulls go with the guy?
They're probably scared, or maybe the PR is better, because he really is an enemy of the state. I mean,
Shane Smith explained that. Un is a big fan of the Chicago Bulls. They got a basketball supposedly signed by Michael Jordan, but I don't know what to believe as far as North Korea goes. And he has tapes of the old Chicago Bulls, and it's one of his things. And Shane Smith got, Dennis Rodman to go there. That's how that whole thing came about. But I was thinking...
The father was a big fan, I think. I guess he is by default, but
I'm
dad,
sure he is, because my dad was a huge Knicks fan, so I became a huge Knicks fan. So I'm sure that's how it works. And I was just wondering, the other Bulls, what else are they doing? Steve Kerr should have went. Paxton should have went.
You know what it is? Jordan, guys like that have too much to lose.
Jordan's not going to go, but I'm thinking of some of the lesser players. What else? B.J. Armstrong, what is he doing?
Yeah.
He should have went and checked out North Korea with Dennis Rodman.
Or Pippen.
I think Pippen's in that category. What the hell is he doing these days? Get your name back in the spotlight? You're hanging out in North Korea?
They all have millions, though. They might just be afraid that Kim Jong-un,
Well, Dennis Rodman's crazy. That's what, there's no surprise that he went.
He's nuts.
He's nuts. And he's trying to keep his name out there, and he's done a pretty good job with it.
And they could just keep you. They literally could just keep you. And the U.S. would have to go to war to get you back.
Right.
They did with that filmmaker.
But if they keep you, would they at least get you girls?
Not the kind you like.
Really?
There's no big butt girls over in fucking Korea.
Oh, well, but they should set you up with some girls at least, no?
I don't know. They might get you one to Korea. Nice Korean girl.
Yeah.
Nice traditional Korean girl.
Yeah.
But he said that everywhere in the documentary, he said everywhere you go, it feels like people are it's like a play. They're putting on a play for you. You're really, like you said yesterday.
You're not really seeing the real North Korea. Although he came the closest, I'm sure. Shane Smith from Vice.
How fucking interesting was that?
I loved him.
He's the best, man.
I thought about him all day yesterday.
Yeah.
That was a great hour of radio, of just him telling stories from about the places he's been. So, well, we have an update on the big Opie and Anthony bus trip. And E-Rock, do you have that clip? I know it was a last-minute find. Do you have it, though?
Trying to find it. I can't find it.
Well, people are going to have to take my word for this.
Yeah.
We know you've said it.
All right. Because I want to either be proven wrong or right today.
Nah, you absolutely said it.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, I said the trip would absolutely not happen.
Yeah.
Just because I know how this place operates. I said there's no fucking way it's happening. I haven't even discussed plans with my wife and my family because I know it's not happening. Because she asked me, well, if you're going away for a week, we got to figure some shit out. I'm like, yeah, but it's not going to happen. They've told us shit over the years, and it just doesn't happen. So I don't worry about stuff until I really believe it's going to happen. So all right. She was cool about it. So the Radio Wizard and Steve Blatter walk in yesterday, and they go, hey, would you mind putting off the bus trip until late summer, early fall? And I just laughed at him. I openly laughed at him. You were there, right, Sam?
It was so funny watching it. I didn't even want to give any hints to what had just happened on the after show. I wanted to wait until today.
Right.
Because you did. He goes, we're thinking about pushing it back to, maybe late summer, early fall.
Right.
And there was this silence. And then you just kind of looked at your phone and just went,
And then I went,
It's like this shitty, I told you so, I knew this would happen, you guys can't do anything, you just gave me segment number 1 for tomorrow.
well, you're
laugh.
missing the punchline, too, because then I looked at him and I went, oh, man, are you guys going to get a beating tomorrow? I looked him right in the eyes and said, you're going to get a beating tomorrow.
No,
But this is why we bitch.
it's one
And this
fucking fumbled ball after another. That's one bad goal line fucking stand after another.
Yeah. So now the bus trip has been put off, and there was a nice buzz out there. There was an excitement about it, and now it's being put off till late summer, early fall, which means that it's just never going to happen because they can't figure shit out around here. Gary can't figure shit out around here. I was in a meeting with Steve Blatter and Gary. We were discussing the bus trip, and he was already being panicky and trying to push it to June. It was supposed to happen in April initially, and Steve Blatter looked at Gary and said, Why June? And he's like, well, I just need more time. And even
To ramp up?
yeah, and even Blatter's like, you don't need more time. There's not much to do here. You get the buses. The hotels will be cheap. We'll find hotels wherever we go. And now it's being put off to late summer, early fall.
Because they don't want to rely on Kenny. And this is what Travis pointed out before. He goes, nobody wants to ask Kenny. And Kenny's done this shit.
Right.
He has done Dice bus tour. He
Right.
understands what to do, and he's an organized guy.
Yeah, you're asking a guy to organize a bus trip that has never done it before, and you got a guy, Club Soda Kenny, who works for us, who toured with Dice on buses.
And
He knows all the ins and outs of traveling on a bus.
and they won't allow him to organize the trip. They just won't. They want to hold on to control. Go ahead. Fuck you. Do what you want.
And then they were trying to downplay it. I'm like, look, man, we've been talking about this idea for over a year. And they're like, no, we haven't. I'm like, trust me, we have. It started with Greenstein in his office. He came up with this idea a while ago. And I said, yeah, that would be cool. Hit some cities we've never been to, some areas we've never been to. So it's not happening.
And tell Scott we tried to do what he asked. He said he wanted to show
Right.
out there more.
Right, it's
I
not
want to get
happening.
you guys out there.
It's too complicated. The corporate structure around here, I don't know what the fuck goes on. How hard could it be to throw us on a bus with some equipment? I mean, at this point, you could broadcast from your phone.
Yeah.
You could use SoundCloud or something, do breaks, and just shove it up somewhere.
Yep.
So it says you blew off the opportunity to do a show in Boston around your show because you're about to do the bus trip.
Right.
And then
No, we didn't blow that off. I wanted to go to Boston with the radio show for Jim Norton. I thought that was a no-brainer, too. They never even got back to me.
I didn't mean you blew it off. I mean they blew it off.
Yeah, they never even got back to me because that's an easy setup, too. We got a huge fan base in Boston. Jimmy's going up for a taping. It's a no-brainer. You leave after the show tomorrow. You broadcast the live Friday, and we all leave Saturday morning.
Blumenreich had the venue. He wanted us to do something. We had the Wilbur Theater if we wanted it.
It was probably an easy plug-in, too.
Yeah, of course. Very easy.
But, I mean, it wasn't even a discussion because we got guys around us that can't get things done, period.
Comedy Central just shot a bunch of stuff at the Wilbur. The Wilbur Theater is fine to go, and I perform there. It's a great venue.
Right.
We all could have had a great show there. There's
Right.
plenty of seats. There's a bar. I mean, it's everything you fucking need.
Right, yeah. So
I'm sold out. I don't need help with the tickets. It wasn't about that. It was about us going up and hanging out with the fucking fans in Boston.
I know it's a good move for the show. It looks cool as hell.
It's fun.
We go back to Boston. We have an excuse to go to Boston. The people certainly will come out for a live broadcast. But I mean, you said a few weeks ago, we've gone as far as we can here.
I absolutely
it's
believe
so
that.
obvious. So, I mean, if we don't do something about it, then we're just fucking stupid, The only reason we haven't done anything about it to this point, because we really believe that things would turn around.
Yeah.
Because you look like an asshole. I thought about this. You look like an asshole if you bitch day in and day out and nothing changes. Because, the reason why you bitch in the old days of radio, if you have a little power and some ratings behind you, it got things done. Yeah. But somewhere along the line, we just sound like complete assholes because we're bitching and nothing changes.
Nothing.
Except making good radio sometimes. After a while, I know. I actually agree with some of the haters. It gets old. It gets old bitching day in and day out. But, they're putting off the bus trip. And the funny thing is, this is how this is going to work. They're going to put off the bus trip, meaning they're not even going to think about it for at least 2 months, 3 months. And then they're going to do some last-minute planning again, and then it's going to fall apart again.
It's looking like end of September.
That's what they're saying now?
Yes.
What happened to end of summer? They said
Technically-
end of summer, and I said, look, I don't want to, I'm trying to free up my summer, to enjoy myself a little bit. So I said, summer over, first week in September. I mean, extremely early fall. Now it's late September.
Technically, the last day of summer is September the 21st.
Well, when he said summer, I was thinking summer like anyone else.
Well, that was your mistake.
July, August.
All right, July and August is basically summer with a little May thrown in there.
Because no. End of September is what
I
we're
mean, June,
thinking.
July, August, with a tiny bit of May. Huh?
End of September.
The end of September now.
End of September is the current time frame.
What are we in now? March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 more months.
Wait. April,
shit.
May, June, July. Wow, 6 more months is right.
'Cause it's the end of September.
You know, it's
Wait,
like
they just put off the bus trip for 6 months?
Yeah, like to the point where they said if people wanted to take vacation at the beginning of September, that would be fine. Because it's end of September.
What a bunch of idiots. I heard Troy Kwan had something to say in the meeting.
Troy Kwan was...
Well, I mean, the radio wizard lost our respect a really long time ago, but now he's losing the respect of the staff, and that's not good.
It wasn't polite what he did.
What do you do?
Well, most of us have been in the studio, but Troy was not in the studio when the announcement came to you guys that the bus trip was getting pushed back. So Gary filled everybody in again, and then Troy goes, so the bus tour is not happening in May? And Gary goes, no. And Troy goes, oh, that's good. I mean, for the record, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I already booked vacation for May, so.
There you go.
And everybody's just,
there you go.
Christ.
Because people have had it. They're not being polite anymore. They're looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? They just postponed it 6 months.
I just didn't know why it was necessary for Troy to use that opportunity to make the announcement that he had never had faith that this would happen.
Right. We were a little over a month out from doing this thing.
And the fact that they won't get Kenny involved is what makes me so sick to my stomach. Knowing that he could get it done, he could get it done better than they can, and he's just, Kenny's a one-man fucking cyborg machine. He could just lock in, boom, but they don't want to have to deal with him being right and them being wrong and going, okay, well, we get, Kenny delivers information sometimes very dry.
Right.
He's like a book with like a voice.
Sure.
And he'll go, we can't stop in Duluth because of this. We got it.
Right.
But you know what? Almost everything, 95% of what he gives you is accurate and right.
How about this? I decided to go to Boston for your taping. I would say I decided at 5 minutes to 6, and the whole trip with an itinerary is on my email.
What time is it now?
It was
6:33.
Yeah, but I announced it about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It took them 15 to 20 minutes to book a trip with Amtrak tickets and everything. 15 minutes, because he knows this shit. And he got me a good price, too. It's not like I'm paying through the nose. Some guy is saying if we don't go in May, we're going to miss the ostrich races.
Oh, no.
The ostriches.
That's why we were doing this.
In Branson, Missouri.
We could have went to Branson. Just like a silly fucking show thing that we always talk about. We could have went to Yakov's theater. I'm sure we could have interviewed Yakov and he probably would have been great to hang out with and have on the show and fuck around with.
Of course.
We'll do it at the end of September.
Just utter fucking incompetence.
And we were supposed to continue our city trips. We did Cleveland, we did Chicago, and then that's been a while now, right? That's been about six months. We were supposed to do a few more of those.
It's been more than that, wasn't it?
We were planning on trying to do one of those every other month.
It's the summer when we went to Chicago, right?
I don't even know. I guess, right? Was it
when Tyson was in here? So it was I think it was like June.
No, it wasn't that long. When did I see Mike Tyson?
It might have been June because last April we were in Cleveland, right, for the taping.
Oh, it was August.
Yeah, okay.
So
August.
7 months ago.
September, October. What? Chicago was 7 months ago?
Yeah, because 6 months till September. So last August was 7 months ago.
Yeah, you're right. That was quite...
I mean, it's up to us. I mean, we could sit here and just rot as a radio show, or we have to fucking, figure this shit out and move on from this place, because it's fun to laugh in their face. It's fun to beat the shit out of them, make sure the world knows they're incompetent, but also, we're suffering in the end, because there's so much more we want to do with this damn thing.
I'm lucky.
There absolutely should be a visual element at this point.
It's never going to happen.
No, I know.
Never.
No, I know. That's why now I just laugh. You know, I used to yell and scream and sound like a lunatic because I really believed in the place I was at, and I was trying to wake some people up. Now, that's why I laugh. That's why I just laugh at it now, because I know how ridiculous it is and that nothing will change. He's lost the confidence of every single person that works for this channel. A lot of people can't be vocal about it because they're on a lower level and they could get in some real trouble for vocalizing it. But I'm telling you, Gary, you lost everyone's confidence. Everyone's.
The wall ain't coming down. The visual element ain't happening. The show ain't traveling. And there's no
bus trip.
The money, hey, look, they pay. I'm happy with the money I make here. I'm happy to do. Like I said, the gig is fun. But I've looked at the radio show. To me, was always this was the big thing,
right?
Like, and this was my whole fucking. I love this thing,
right?
And after a while of being here, it is literally still something that's very important to me.
Right.
It's still something I love doing, but it is not at all what I look is going to carry me.
Right.
It's a jumping off place and a home base.
Right.
To come back to.
Yeah. When this mic's on, I'll try like hell, but I'm not. I don't believe in anything that this company says to me anymore. Not a fucking thing. You know, I mean, Scott Greenstein looked me right in the eye and said, all right, yeah, we'll get that wall done for you, no problem. And he said at the time, look, I don't think we could give you the whole studio behind this wall, but we'll give you a nice piece. I'm like, cool, that's all we need. We just needed a little piece. And then they got, you know, they got back to us saying it's going to cost $400,000 to $500,000 to remove the wall. And now a mere week, maybe 2 weeks later, now the bus trip's being put off.
It's just zero good faith.
Zero. I told you I knew we weren't doing a bus trip. That's why I wasn't talking about it that much. I wasn't making plans with my family. Like when you have two small kids, you can't just do willy-nilly shit anymore. You got to kind of prepare. But I told the wife, I'm like, look, it's not happening, so we don't even need to discuss this. How sad is that, knowing that it wasn't going to happen? You just knew. And late September, huh?
Late September.
But something
like end of September.
When it's getting colder.
Yeah.
Like, why not do it in the fucking very beginning and just fucking go down to the south? It'd be fun. Branson will be fun. It's a silly, stupid little trip.
I would love to know what the issues were. Because even, like I said, Steve Blatter looked at Gary in this meeting like, what? What do you mean? You know, he was trying to push it to June, and Blatter's looking at him like, how complicated could this be? Like, what is the issue? Getting the actual buses? Maybe he never looked into getting the buses?
The fact is...
The hotels are easy. You call one... You call one hotel chain and go, look, we're going into 4 places. We want to use your hotel chain. And they would probably set us up nice. That seems easy. The broadcast is pretty damn easy.
And they don't have a good enough sales staff to get a sponsor for it, like or a partial sponsor for it. To go, look, you know, this is what's going to happen. We could do this here, giveaways here, whatever it is you do that gets a sponsor to motivated to pay for stuff.
Right.
They are not. Their sales staff is hideous.
Right.
And can't get that done. So they're looking at it like, why should we spend this money? What's in it for us? That's the problem when you have this basic a subscription service as opposed to subs. I mean, as opposed to ratings, is you don't feel like you're going to go out and just grab new people. You're only preaching to the choir, as they say. So the people you're speaking to are already in the mix. So there's no need to go out there and meet. Who gives a fuck?
So there's the big headline today. Another thing that's not happening.
Nope.
I just laughed at him yesterday, Sam.
It was really funny when they had to tell you. Because you know.
Because it's exactly, I know this shit. I know way more about radio than those guys. Way the fuck more. It's not even close.
But I would have thought that they would try everything humanly possible to make sure that this happens just so they don't have to go to you.
Right.
And say, well, we're going to put it, and say everything that you said would happen.
Right. I would love, because, you know, the guy doesn't like being on the radio. I would love for him to come on the radio and explain why the bus trip needs to wait another 6 months.
6 months.
But in my mind, something else will happen. So to even say it's happening in 6 months that's hilarious.
It's naive.
It's extremely naive because there's so much that will change or happen between now and then.
6 months is just a good amount of time that it's like, okay, you know, that fire will kind of go down, and we can
and then they'll
shift
slowly
the focus over here.
Yeah, then they'll slowly. What happens is then that'll slowly fade away as an idea, but something else will pop up, and then they'll go, well, instead of doing the bus tour, we're going to do this instead, and it's probably something that's a lot easier that has something to do with the company. I don't know.
We walk around the building with serious hats. We're going to do the building walk around. It's where we start on 6th Avenue and 49th, and we do a complete circle to the left. The lawyers would not okay us going back against traffic by foot,
right?
In case somebody rubbernecked and was killed. So we're going to do the 1 block around, the walk around with serious hats. We hope fans will come and wave at us. Just shit.
We've gone as far as we can.
Shit.
You know, they got to figure out a new business model for this place, or they're going to lose. You know, they're going to lose talented shows. I think they've already lost talented shows,
dude.
No one's going to put up with this shit.
Podcasts are already more relevant,
right?
You know what I mean? Like you hear,
they have more sponsors.
More sponsors. Like literally, Rogan on his podcast has a video element and sponsors because he's doing it himself.
He starts his show by talking about all his sponsors. When I was there, I was amazed listening to do read after read for sponsors. We have one. We have Steven Singer, and then a bunch of, you know, who gives a fucks that come along here and
guys
there.
That will come and stay for 3 months and then move on and then come back. You know, just guys that are kind of just in transit.
And I told the people to know here, I'm like, do you guys even listen to podcasts? All you have to do is listen to Jay Moore, Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, throw in Voss and Bonnie, and a few others. You will hear Bob Kelly, excuse me. You'll hear a whole list of sponsors they got. So then what you should do as a sales staff is go and knock on their fucking doors, because we're talking to way more people, except for maybe Rogan at this point. But the rest of them, we're definitely still talking to way more people than them. And those sponsors would gladly come aboard.
It's embarrassing.
It's unbelievable.
It's embarrassing. It's simply embarrassing.
Well, you know, their logic, I'll say it every fucking time this comes up. They decided we'll pay Howard a shitload of money, and that'll carry the company, and nothing else matters. And we're in the nothing else matters category, as much as we tried for a few years to, you know, push out of that category. But the fact remains, it doesn't matter. As long as Howard's still here, and they pay him all the fucking money, pretty much all the programming money, pretty much all the marketing money, pretty much all the promotional money, nothing else matters. It just doesn't matter. And then what they're going to do when Howard finally leaves, then they're going to scatter around trying to figure out what they do next, which is the stupidest thing in the world. It's dumb. It's a really dumb way to run a company. And you got a show like us that we want to do more. There's other shows around here. They don't give a fuck. They'll sit and rot in their chairs. They don't give a fuck. We do. And they can't even get the bus tour together. Man, I hope my elevator show takes off, because that's all I got.
That's it?
That's all I got, man.
That's
all I fucking got. What?
I was going to ask for another coffee, but then I remembered that Kenny's now
coffee.
No, well, you're drinking your coffee.
Yeah, you want to share mine?
No.
Times are tough. Get a cup.
No, thanks. I'll have maybe E-Rock, can you send something in the back just for coffee, please? Flavored coffee with skim milk.
By the way, I patched together a drumming in the elevator show for tomorrow. I had to patch it together.
That's exciting.
We got in trouble, so I patched something together.
That was much better than I thought. Sorry, Sam. That was much better than I thought.
Yeah, but that'll be this week's elevator show, which is released every Thursday.
Oh, I thought they came out on Wednesday.
Every Thursday, man.
What was I thinking?
Like clockwork. You got to get everyone on a schedule, and then you're guaranteed more clicks.
Yeah.
It's all about the clicks.
The numbers.
Well, when I check my numbers, I want to make sure people have done the right thing and gave me a few clicks.
Right.
That's it. That's all I'm looking for. A few clicks.
That's all you need.
That's all I need.
Uh-oh.
And then somebody talked to me yesterday, like, you know, this is exactly what was told to me, and of course I knew this was coming too. They go, you know, that elevator show is going to be a problem, but you know, I'm just going to let it go for now. I'm going to let it go for now, but it will be a problem. Why would it be a problem? Why would that be a problem? I get if I did, like, you know, shows like the drumming episode week after week, that would be a problem. But why would that dumb little concept, that stupid little idea, be a problem?
Because it was your idea. And then you just did it. And no matter,
everything's a problem in the end.
If you do something successfully, but it's your idea and you didn't include
Because I don't want to include. I got ideas. I don't want to include them in anything because they fuck up everything.
Then it'll be a problem.
One reason why I don't shoot as much video in studio is because they want to get their hands involved in that as well. So I said, you know what? Fuck them. I'll take our guys that are very talented and I'll film shit outside the studio. They wanted logos on everything and their name and the title and all sorts of shit. They want the pocket money that it earns. Like, they had to get their stupid little grimy hands involved in that as well. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm only going to film every once in a while in the studio. Fuck them. I could put up a cool video from this studio every day, but I don't want anything to do with them as far as my business goes.
It's a big problem. There's not a lot of bigger picture thinking. Like, there's not, it's new media.
Right.
So, like, if you get big on YouTube, regardless of what you film or where you film it, it's better for the show, it's better for the company.
It comes with being territorial about content for no reason, and in unreasonably so, and not seeing how things work.
You know, my YouTube channel's up to 41 million views. That's a big deal. And as a company, they can't get anyone watching their videos when real stars come in.
And
I'm filming mostly the street people and goofballs, and my videos do way better than anything they pop up on that site.
And nobody's going to watch your videos and think to themselves, well, I can just watch his videos. Why subscribe to the service?
No, because it's always a twist or something.
Of course, and they're short videos. You go, oh, I like him. I'm going to subscribe to the service.
Don't get me wrong. They said, you know, they're allowing me to film in studio because I had that discussion. They're allowing me, but they want to be involved. I'm like, you know what? No, you're not being involved in my shit anymore because you fuck up everything. Big fucking logos they want all over the fucking place. So I'll put up a tiny little logo here and there.
There's logos all over the walls. It's already there.
Well, that's why you think they're there. Yeah, I told them, look, I can't guarantee I'm going to fucking put a logo on in studio videos. So why don't you put some shit up on the wall so then if we film in here, you know, you'll see where it came from.
So then
I just don't want them involved.
Put the logos up on the wall and just let it be.
Right.
It's just depressing. But, you know, fuck it. I'm in a great mood. I have a great week.
Yeah. So. No, it's not really depressing. The future's bright.
Yeah, but it depresses me though.
Why? I don't believe in this place.
It's not about the place.
They can tell me they could fucking fire me tomorrow. I don't care. NEW, I cared a lot, but I mean they would put me out of my misery if they had said go home.
Dude, I'm 44.
And then I would take a little break. I'd watch my kids grow up slightly, and then I'll fucking redo the whole thing the right way. I don't care.
I'm fucking 44. This is not a dress rehearsal in my life or my career. Like this is the real thing.
Right.
It's like sometimes we look at life like everyone, it's a dress rehearsal. Like, okay, I'm just going to be able to fuck around and do this and that, and then I'll have a chance. And it's like, this never comes back.
No.
Never. That's why guys don't pursue, I feel bad for guys who come up to me and they're, hey man, I'm 40 and, I never did stand up or I never tried radio and I always wanted to. And it's like, because maybe circumstance didn't allow.
Right.
But a lot of times people look at things like it's a rehearsal.
Right. No,
it's not.
This is it.
It's hard to motivate until you think of it that way. Like, man, if I don't do or at least try what I want to fucking try and move, I'm just going to fucking get stuck here.
Right.
In anything you're doing in life. If you want to go out and just try something, just shut up and go out and fucking try it. And if you fail, you're never going to look back and go, I should have given that a shot.
And I think we've been here in this building about 4 years, and we were on the wrong side of the merger. So the first year or two, you're like, okay, we got to wait. These guys didn't know much about our show or believe in it because they never really had to pay attention to it. So we're gonna have to fucking deal for the first year or two. Then like 3 years in, that's when we're like, all right, hello, what the fuck? We're ready to take this to the next level. Hello. And now we're 4 years in, and we're to the point where we absolutely don't believe, that this company can make this show better. But we'll turn on the mics every day, and we'll certainly continue to put on a good radio show. I think the show in general has been really good lately, but there's more we want, and this place isn't going to give it to us. They don't have the money because they give it all to Howard, and they don't have the right people. They don't have the right people around here. I saw a lot of the talented people start marching out of here as soon as they had another opportunity. They got the fuck out of here because they weren't being, paid right or treated well. So, bus trip's off for 6 more months. But we all know what that means. Phones are lit.
We can't rely on them, man. It's like we can't rely on them.
I know,
to do
but
the right thing.
unfortunately,
they never have and they never will.
We're under contract with them, so we have to kind of work with them. You know, I mean, we want a visual element when we can't really do it without their blessing, and they will not see it our way.
We should present them at least with an option. Like, this is where Bob has to come in. You present them with an option and go, this is it. Boom, boom, boom. Like I feel like Bob Kelly right now. Boom, you got the video, you got this. But hey, look, we have a potential for this right here. Yes or no? And we don't do that. We should do that. Force Bob to do it. It's never
Why don't you go to HR if you have such a problem with management? Let me tell you something, Alex, you stupid fuck. You stupid fuck. I'm not an HR guy. I don't go to HR. I've never gone to HR. I don't even know where the HR office is. I don't even know who the HR bitch is.
But that's not an HR issue, though.
I have no idea who runs the HR department here, and I have no desire to.
That's not an issue with human resources. We're
But
not
I would
saying
never
management's harassing
go.
us. They're not sexually harassing us. Gary doesn't lick my neck when I walk by.
Maybe Alex goes to HR.
He might have been asking a legit question. Was he saying that in a bitchy way? He might have been saying that in a real, like, hey, man, maybe you could try this.
Alex, sorry.
It's all right. I don't care.
Are you an HR guy, though? Do you go to HR?
No,
I think going to HR, I'll be honest with you, is such a pussy move.
No, it's just the fact that, I've had bosses where I've never really got anything done, and the only time I've ever gone to the department is to get something done. I'll give you an example. I'm looking for more hours on my night job, but the only time I can really get it is if I go to the head honcho or top dog or whatever, and then it usually gets something done.
We're usually on the radar of the top dogs and stuff, but you know how this place is set up. They just don't have the resources, is what it comes down to in the end.
Yeah,
they just don't
know
have
it's
it.
set up, so.
They decided, and it was their move. It was their move to just give everything to Howard, and then everyone else, like I said, is in the who gives a fuck category. The nothing else matters category. That's exactly how this place runs. I knew it when we got into it. I hated the fact they were merging because I knew we'd have to fucking deal with the Howard bullshit again. And what I mean by the Howard bullshit is what that means. You know, when you work for the same company as Howard, you get nothing. Because they give him everything. And they think, he's worth it. And that's open for a fucking debate. But I don't feel like having that right now.
But this goes even beyond him because this is not even, like a lot of times it's not even money. A lot of times it's not, it's just literally sludge and lethargy.
It's money. There's so many people around here that haven't had a fucking raise in a long time, or a real raise, I should say.
And I mean the lack of creative thinking, where someone not going to Kenny and going, "Hey, we'd like you to take a look at this and see what you can come up." Like
right.
I'm saying that lack of forward thinking, or that has nothing to do with money. That's just lethargy, and it's fog. It's fucking fog.
It's the middle management syndrome, which we've talked about too. Middle management is fucking up companies left and right, and HR departments. Oh God! Ugh. Do you know? I don't know who the HR person is.
I don't either.
I hope it's not a lady because they said bitch. That could be a problem.
It is.
It'll be a problem?
No, it's a lady.
Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. I don't know her.
You want a woman. If you're a company, you want a woman in charge of human. You don't want a guy.
I don't want.
If you're a company, you got to have one. So you want to have a woman.
Yeah. Who decided every company has to have an HR department?
Lawyers. Same ones that have.
Of course. Of course. And I always said I'll never meet with an HR person. I'd rather walk. I'm not fucking dealing with that horse shit. Ever. That's why I just, when these mics are off and I walk these halls, I'm just polite to everyone. I don't fucking get into any fucking talk with anybody because I'm not going into an HR office for some nonsense. Oh, we joined the Indie channel?
Yep. Officially.
So what does that mean?
Sundays.
Okay, that's good.
11 a.m.
We could end this with some positive news.
11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
On Sundays?
It's the worst the Opie and Anthony show on Indie.
They told me that's a big listening time. Sundays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah, man. 8 a.m. I mean, because that's when you want drive time in L.A. on a Sunday.
Well, no, I mean, they don't really acknowledge the rest of the country. This is an East Coast company, because I've argued that point with them as well. Like, you do know that this fucking service goes all the way to the West Coast.
There's a lot more cars
That's
in
why
California than there are here in this. Like people drive more in California than they do in Manhattan.
That's why I wanted to cheat the start time of the show, because then you get a little more live radio for the West Coast. So that means we'll be on in LA 8 to 11 a.m.
8 to 10.
Oh, it's only 2 hours, 8 to
2
10,
hours,
and
yeah.
then it's 11 to 1 here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
On a Sunday.
Yeah. On every Sunday.
Well, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Why are they shoving us in on the weekend? They don't have a full channel yet, do they?
Yeah, well, I mean, they got their dates parts. They got Pete,
right.
Dominic, Cavino, and Rich and Jay Thomas every day.
All right, squeeze us in somewhere else then. Squeeze us in between some of these day parts.
Be in the evening. And then they got their weekly shows, you know. They got like Rotten Tomatoes 2 days a week, and
Yawn.
some guy named Dan Dunn 1 day a week, and
Yawn.
the author Neil Strauss does a show 1 day a week.
Nice guy.
I like Neil.
I don't know if he could do radio, though. I have no idea. I have no idea where they get these guys that have never done radio before. All right. Cool.
Me neither.
We'll see how that works. Just in time for football. A few months out from football, and we're going to be on Sundays. That's great. I try to tell him that. You don't want to be before football ever. That's a dead spot for. We talk to the same people. The people we talk to, they all have a football team, and they're all into fantasy football. So this indie move will be good for a couple months, and then when we get closer to football, it's going to be it'll be a dead zone for our show.
Channel 104 on Sirius and XM.
Oh, they figured that out at least.
Uh-huh.
That's good. So Indie's on both services as the same channel. That's good.
Right.
Yeah. All right. What channels are we on? 206, 105, right?
Correct.
Finally got that right.
Which is which?
206 is Sirius.
Very good.
Yeah, I literally have no idea what channels we're on. I until you just said that. If you said we're on channel 150 and 802, I would have went.
Because it's too complicated.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I would start if I, was a bigwig in this country. We gotta make the channels the same on each as much as we can. How are they going to find us? Like, people are casual listeners. Most of our audiences, we got the hardcores that listen to every word, and then they got to fucking decipher it, and then they have to throw their hate at us and all that. But the fact is, most of these people are casual listeners. They don't want to have to try to figure out, like, what channel we are on each service. They want it as easy as possible. That's what you learn in radio when you first start with this horse shit. Got to make it as easy as possible for the listeners. No thinking involved. That's why contesting went from, some dumb trivia question, all that, to no, man, just fucking 7th caller, 10th caller, make it easy. Boom. They just want to call. They don't want to play games. And you'll get the phones lit for a contest. All right.
Marriage is being talked about. We can talk.
Yeah, we can talk about that next. We'll move on. I mean, it's a biggie today with the bus trip being postponed.
Postponed till the end of September.
What are they telling the meeting? Because, we don't even go to those meetings anymore.
No, well, I mean, I don't know if you ever did, but
not really.
Just that they thought it would be they and promotions and everybody thought in terms of putting it together the right way that it would be better to postpone it. And now we're looking at the end of September.
But why couldn't they put it together the right way for mid-May? That's the question I have for those dopes. And I'll tell you why, because they didn't even think about it. They just had it on their desk somewhere as one of many things they have to do, and they just pushed it off. They pushed it off to the point they don't have enough time to get it done. This has been talked about for close to a year, if not over a year. And Blatter told me, no way. I'm telling you. Started with Greenstein as a casual idea. That had to be a year ago. Had to be.
We didn't ask any follow-up questions. There was just a lot of kind of snickering.
Right at him, right?
I mean, snickering. Not guffawing, but, some snickers. And then Troy making blatantly disrespectful comments.
Well, good for him.
Which drew more snickering, of course.
Well, good for him.
Yeah. It's very funny.
He's one of the many guys extremely underpaid, so he has every right to laugh at him a little bit. Anthony has made it into the studio, and
holy shit!
You
know what?
wrote me and said, "Wow, this is a really good listen."
Yeah. I got to tell you something. I'm driving in, and sometimes, we think we got it pretty bad here,
right?
With our show,
right.
But I was listening to a show that I couldn't fucking imagine being part of. It seems other people are doing shows where the bosses don't give a shit what happens on it. There was some show I was listening to. Apparently they were supposed to go on a bus trip.
Yeah.
And it's not happening.
It's not happening.
For 6 months. And I'm listening to these radio personalities talking, going, I would hate to be part of that show.
No, but Anthony, you are part of the show.
Oh! Literal Jimmy. Literal Jimmy.
Do you want to add to it? You were here.
I was here indeed, and
for the big announcement
when they came in and told us.
Well, we were trying to march out like we usually do, and they go, "We need to talk to you for a couple minutes." A couple minutes.
I was wondering why they both came in studio.
I knew.
Yeah, I knew too.
As soon as I saw both those knuckleheads,
you knew there was a problem.
I knew.
Knuckleheads.
I was hoping E-Rock was going to pull the clip when I said this wasn't happening. I said it weeks ago.
Yeah.
I didn't even plan for it.
Not at all.
Like I said, the wife was like, "Hey, if you go away for a week, we got to figure out some shit." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not going away for a week, so I'm not going to worry about it. There's enough to worry about at home."
When the bosses, or whatever they are, come in and announce some disappointing news about something you want to do, the reaction should not be the entire air staff laughing. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
We all just went and started laughing.
Right.
And the only reason that happens is if you've been kicked numerous times.
I don't even know if we get kicked anymore.
I mean, figuratively speaking, about,
we know what we got.
Mm-hmm.
When these mics go on, we'll fucking entertain the people to the best of our abilities.
Yep.
But that's all I could promise anyone.
And of course, our friend Vinny was in here yesterday. He sat in for a little bit of the show, and he actually, we were talking on the way out, and he goes, I really thought you were playing a joke on me, like, because I've heard you talk about stuff like this all the time.
Right.
How the bosses just drop the ball on everything.
On everything.
He goes, I honestly thought, and he was serious, that you would plan this to, like punk me or play a joke on me, like the guys that he's heard about, perfectly described.
He thought we were exaggerating.
Yeah. And he goes, and they started saying stuff about the bus trip and it wasn't happening. He goes, I was sitting there going, is this like a joke they're playing on me because like it's a caricature of the show and what they've talked about? And no, I was like, no. That really happened.
What a self-centered ass Vinny is.
I know, that's what I'm getting out of that.
People are going to get together and fucking put on a 4-act play for you?
Exactly. I think that's what I got out of that.
What do you think this is, the Truman Show, you fucking self-involved bull?
Holy fuck. How is it possible to hang out with a guy like that?
I don't know.
I mean, your ego is pretty fucking strong, and then you got another guy that believes the whole world revolves around him.
I think it was more that it was so ridiculous.
But his
point
point
couldn't be real.
His point being, he was privy to see what we see on a regular basis, and he couldn't believe it. He thought maybe we exaggerate for the radio show. Gotcha.
But there they were walking in and saying. And I was listening on the way, and obviously it was
obviously
exactly.
I'm a great broadcaster.
Oh yes, I heard.
Okay,
that.
good.
Did you hear me peppering in from the side?
I heard the peppering. It was great.
And obviously, when we split up, I'll have no problem doing this myself, and you'll do well as well. Maybe we'll get together for some reunion shows.
It's going to be fantastic.
Besides that, what else did you hear?
You were saying something that was exactly what I was thinking. September, whenever they want to do this. Whenever they want to do this. I was thinking there's no way they're now going to put all their effort into working on this until September.
No.
What they do now is out of sight, out of mind. They shove this off somewhere.
Right.
And don't even think about it until, again, the last minute.
And what they're hoping for?
Yeah.
This is how this shit works. Now they're saying late September, by the way.
Yep.
They said late summer, and I'm like, well, I want to keep my summer free, so no problem. First week in September. I was stupid to even say that because I'm like, what are you doing? This ain't happening.
No.
So now it's 6 months from now. So now they got 6 months hoping that something happens.
Something.
And then they'll attach themselves to that and go, well, we're going to do this instead of the bus trip.
Yeah. They'll honestly start talking about, like, the Super Bowl, I bet.
Something.
They're going to start talking in September like, well, it's in Jersey.
Well,
you guys want to go? And
yeah,
hopefully
we'd rather put all our effort and money into the Super Bowl instead of the bus trip. Are you guys cool with that?
To ramp up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
ramp up. Maybe we could do a bus trip to Jersey.
Yeah.
To the Meadowlands.
Even that they couldn't pull off.
No!
Well, the lawyers don't want to insure you in case oh, fucking shut up.
Can you indemnify? Why don't we indemnify?
Yeah, exactly.
So that word is fun written all over
So,
it.
right, so if somebody trips in the lobby and sues you, I'm responsible. Good.
But they'll tell us, no, it's happening.
Yeah.
Well, all right, great. It was supposed to happen it was supposed to happen in April. Then they moved it to May, and then they were trying for June. And then they're trying to tell me that this hasn't been on the books for almost a year. I think it's over a year.
Over a year.
I remember because we haven't sat in Greenstein's office in quite a long time, and I know we used to have discussions in there like that.
Bus trip,
we want to throw you on a bus.
Well, now they can coast. They could just coast now. They're like, we got the summer. We don't have to think about anything to do with the Opie and Anthony show. It's fascinating.
It's amazing. Whatever.
Yeah. The wall, the fucking it's just everything. It's just everything.
It's just one pile of shit lie after another. And I don't think it's a lie. I'm not going to say lie. It's one thing they say. Every time they talk, they act like an 8-year-old with a broken lamp next to them. And they will say anything to not be punished in that moment.
I think they have good intentions, but they just can't figure out shit. When Shane Smith was talking about Shit Beach, man, I'm sitting here going, we know a thing or two about Shit Beach.
Yeah, we're on Shit Beach every day.
We're shit on pretty much every day from this place. And what's frustrating, we do our jobs.
Yeah.
Usually it was a give and take. Like back in the day of the golden years of radio, man, if you did a fucking show like we did, then they come to the table and they give you everything.
Oh, amazing.
They do their part.
Yeah.
Nice fart.
That was a
by the way,
at least I didn't talk to it.
By the way, I don't know if he tweeted it, but he emailed me. Moses Gates admitted that was his fart the other day.
Oh, it was.
We all thought it was.
First of all, that was 2 farts because I didn't mention the first one. It was so bad.
Yeah, he admitted to it in an email. He said he had a really good time, and then he goes, "All right, I got to confess, that was me."
Yeah, it was horrid.
It was horrendous, right?
Holy shit! Rival Jimmy's.
Yeah, we've been smelling Jimmy's farts for a while. It's kind of like it's almost like potpourri at this point.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me. But man, when you smell a foreign fart, there's nothing worse.
And it was the second one of his interview.
Yeah.
The first one I smelled, I let it go. But then that one, and it was almost wrapping up. He just had to pinch his fucking cheeks together for another couple of minutes.
And that was it.
And he let loose.
So, no bus trip anytime soon. People were getting excited out there, too.
Excited.
Oh, by the way, I also booked a trip to Boston. I'm not going to be here Friday.
Yeah?
And it took 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
5 minutes.
Through Kenny.
Kenny at 5. Kenny, what time did I say I want to go to Boston? 5:55, I think?
To the best of my recollection, yes, sir.
And I had an itinerary email at 6:15.
They weren't asking you to book the bus trip?
Negative.
I was an afterthought, I believe.
Well, that was after I bitched and said, "Why aren't you going to the one guy around here that knows about buses and touring with them?"
Right.
For the people that don't know, Kenny worked with Andrew Dice Clay for a while, and a lot of that time was spent on a fucking bus.
Yes.
Yeah, that's too perfect. Why would they use Kenny,
the expert?
I brought to their attention the Department of Transportation's rules and regulations
about how long a driver can drive legally.
Yeah, they didn't even know that.
Why don't we just take it all the way to Austin in one trip, one leg?
Mm-hmm. So, all right, enough about the bus, I guess.
Yeah.
We said what we had to say this time. Another hour wasted talking about these dummies, these fucking idiots.
I'd be more than happy to do whatever needs to be done.
I know you would,
Of course you would, Kenny.
Remember the good old days in XM? They used to send us on like 2-3 trips a year, and they go, "Kenny, we're going to send them to a celebrity poker tournament."
Right.
Get back to me.
In L.A.,
I would research it, do a budget.
Hey, we're doing
submit
CES in Vegas. Hey, let's go to Vegas.
Don't even back then, though. They never had talent at CES. Remember, they never sent guys to CES. They've never been good with this.
Can we get Corporate Denny in here? Maybe he would have a nice spin on this to get us all positive again. Explain as he's walking down the hall everything that's going on, Sam, and he'll have something to say about it, I'm sure. Yes, Kenny.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Remember
Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Remember those?
More than once.
Yeah,
I guess
Florida.
officially that would be how to say
Mardi
that.
Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Well, then we started that initiative where we wanted to hit a bunch of cities, and we did good for a while there. We did Cleveland, Chicago, and then we learned today Chicago was already 7 months ago.
7 months.
That was 7 months ago.
Well, you had an offer to go to Boston.
No, we didn't. I suggested it to them, and it never got past the suggestion.
No, we had an offer to
No,
go to
you did
Boston.
have an
We had
offer. Remember my email?
No,
when
not
you-
from here.
No.
Oh, not from here. No, but from a venue
Yeah,
in
and
Boston.
I suggested, I'm like, that could be an easy thing to do as well. But the whole, well, if you're doing the bus trip, blah, blah, blah.
But this is why they stink so badly. Because Epix, before the shoot, does a lot of interviews with fans. I'm doing an interview with Epix the day of, Friday. They're going to be there filming simply because they want to get pre-show stuff. And this dumb fucking company, it's like they would put you on television for nothing.
Right.
Just interviewing the fans and the guys. We would have been up there and a big part of it.
They never see that.
It's such shit.
Whatever money you would have spent on the broadcast, you would get back in the promotions on Epix. And Epix, they're talking to the same demos we certainly want to reach.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were doing this with Epix.
Yeah, every time I'm sure they're going to do something.
Very cool, man. Denny, have you been
there he
listening
is.
to our woes?
Yes. You've have a couple of gripes with management.
A couple of grapes.
Couple of gripes. Everyone knocks head with management.
Are you used to
everyone.
listening to a radio show that has a couple of gripes?
It's interesting. It's better good times and great oldies all day and all night.
What? Were you
A different spin.
Did you work for radio shows that had gripes with management, and did they bring it to the attention of the listener? That's probably a big no-no.
That is a no-no.
Did Harry Harrison
would-
say,
no.
what a bunch of assholes we work for?
He would never say that as he's ramping up the
Just a different
Shirelles.
world. No. It's just a different world. That's all.
And I work with a bunch of assholes.
This one from 1965. As I work for a bunch of shitheads.
My boss is a cunt. Here's the Beatles from 1969.
Yeah.
So the bus trip is September.
No.
That's great. You've got all spring and all summer to promote it.
Right. It's all
Push it
about
ahead. Just-
promotion.
Yeah, it's good
Build it up.
when you're 3 seasons away. That's what you want to do. Promote through 3 fucking seasons.
3 seasons.
Didn't
yes.
we just kind of leave fall?
Do you understand? I don't own the clothes yet that I'm going to wear on the bus trip. No store sells the clothes I will need for the bus trip.
My daughter was basically just born, and she'll be celebrating her first birthday.
She'll be in high school.
Before we go on the bus trip.
Oh, God.
This will be easier for your wife because the kids will be at school. So she
Sure.
won't have as much
There
to
you
worry
go.
about.
I
Look
love
at
the
it that way.
positive spin.
They're
I love
making it easier for us all.
You're trying to say that it's not good to bitch about the company or the radio station you work for.
Makes good radio.
It does, right?
oh.
Yeah.
You kind of wish that Dan Ingram did a little of this, right?
He did, but in a different way.
How would he do it on air?
He would make fun of management. He would actually turn it on somebody else on the show. Boy, I was talking to so-and-so, and he said that management is doing it this way, so you don't put the blame on yourself.
Good one.
Like, I wouldn't say this about Dionne Warwick, but she hasn't had a hit since she had the Psychic Friends TV show. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, what happened to her?
Dionne Warwick.
What happened to her?
She, evidently, her lawyer said she had a bad business manager.
She's pretty much on the front page of the paper today.
They all
Dionne
do.
Warwick
Yeah.
is baroque.
Business managers should be lined up and mouth fucked.
Where's she live in Jersey?
I thought she was living in Brazil. She was a big fan
they
of
said-
Brazil. Maybe she
Really?
is in Jersey.
I thought the paper said they knocked on her door in Jersey. She owes like $10 million.
She was up here a couple of months ago, and
She has $25,000 in assets.
wow. But a lot
According
of
to this article I'm looking at online right now, $25,000. Most people have more
That's
money than
it.
Dionne Warwick.
Poor Dionne.
but it happens to a lot of artists. It happened to, right? It didn't happen to Billy Joel in his career too, and
Well, he
his
trusted
brother-in-law,
his brother-in-law.
and Springsteen. I think had some problems
Walk
too.
on by,
All gone. Ever since she did the Psychic Friends TV show, no hits.
You would think that money was still rolling in. Huh?
Yeah.
Or she should have saw it coming.
The Psychic should have given her a heads up.
Let her know.
That's sort of what I said, Denny.
Oh, wow. How do you owe $10 million and only have 25,000?
That's
wow.
I don't know.
That's bad right there.
That's like the girl who downloaded all the illegal music, and now she just said, I can't pay.
Uh-oh.
So what do? I can't pay.
You go to jail, maybe.
For downloading music.
Who does Dion owe $10 million to? IRS?
I would assume the IRS and maybe
probably
some mortgages and shit. I don't know.
After all the joy she's given us over the years, can't they just cut her some slack?
Yeah, you think so?
Come on, do you know the way to San Jose?
They would just let this walk on by.
Walk on by. Dun, 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 dun. Nice. Do you know the way to San Jose? Ba, 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 ba. Right?
She's going to be... Well, now she's got a hitchhike to San Jose.
And you celebrate her whole catalog.
Oh,
we don't celebrate Dionne Warwick.
Just start talking to the IRS. Hey, how about you just walk on by? Walk on by. Nothing to see here.
You know, I was talking to Sam in the kitchen a little while ago.
A little water talk. A little
coffee talk.
Yeah.
And I suggested that you guys get a mascot for the show.
A mascot?
Like a mascot. So when you go out on location, you go out on the bus tour.
What's the shittiest animal? Because that's the one we'll pick for our mascot.
You get the listeners involved, where you have the listeners.
Really?
Do you not know we have a mascot?
Oh.
You haven't met the virus?
Oh, that's right. We do have a mascot. I even forgot about that.
Well, I thought it's now known as the Opie and Anthony channel.
Yeah,
no. The virus is our mascot.
We should bring Nick DiPaolo in here. So any advice, Danny? We spent an hour bitching about this place. Is that good, bad?
I think what you do is you write everything down. You write all your complaints down, and you give them a timetable. Say, look, we'd like to hit this. We'd like to hit this mark by maybe June, and then how far are we along on the bus trip by July? So you get an itinerary. I mean,
keep them on their toes
yeah.
too.
So this is a good thing that they fucked up another thing.
Well, I think you put it out in the open, and you're able to air out your gripes, and you have a microphone, and I think you might have the folks in the front office worried.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're really worried.
Shaken.
No, they don't care.
Yeah.
As long as Howard's still here, they don't care.
Oh yeah.
It'll be a problem when he leaves. Then they'll scramble around and try to figure out what's next for the company.
Hey, but at least it's Wednesday, halfway to the weekend.
Hump day. I like your clipboard there, too. You got your clipboard with you, all ready to go?
All ready pants are hiked up a little high today.
Oh, yeah.
They're ready to go.
I've lost some weight, so the pants are going down. So. Thank you very much.
Yes, Nick.
Come on in, Nick. Nick DiPaolo.
Nick DiPaolo.
Let me step aside and make room for Nick.
Oh, why don't you
probably should do that. You probably should do that.
Call it.
Let's take you and your Dockers and get the fuck out of here.